Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Commissioner. I want to ask just a couple of questions about Saturday's protests, if I could, and just in particular, I'd just like to see whether or not you and the AFP can give any indication about the likely crowd size. The media in the country have been talking about crowd sizes in the order of thousands, but it strikes me from photographs that I saw that the crowd stretched all the way from Old Parliament House pretty much to New Parliament House and the sides on the day. Do you have any figures or any estimates that you're comfortable with, that you think are more accurate than perhaps our friends in the media have been telling us?
The estimates that I was supplied range from 6,000 to 7,000 at the low end to 10,000 at the top end.
Seems awfully low to me, given those amount of crowd, but right.
10,000 is pretty large, you know.
It is
but I'm not an expert. I'm not an expert, Senator, in that. But that's what our intel assessed.
Okay.
But you could be right. It could be more than 10,000.
Okay, thank you. And just on that subject, though, you say it's a large crowd. Are you aware of any larger protests that have happened in Canberra in recent time, last few decades, in your time?
We were talking about this today. I think going back to the 90s, perhaps, was some large crowds. And then if I've talked personally to Commissioner Palmer, one of the former commissioners, when he talked to me about the loggers, the truck drivers going way back. I think that was the late 80s, somewhere around there. But certainly for a long time, that's the biggest crowd we've had.
Right, thank you. I know Senator Roberts touched on this earlier, but he mentioned the deployment of some equipment, and I think he was referring to an LRAD machine, and I've been provided with this photograph, which I'm happy to table electronically, of course, from a distance. It does appear to show the deployment of an LRAD machine, a long-range acoustic device, I think it's called, which is a device designed to pitch sound at long range and can cause some pretty serious injuries. You can't confirm, even given that photo, that device was deployed on the day?
Senator Antic, I just want to interrupt here to make it clear that this question has already been taken on notice.
I understand that, but just with the benefit of having had that photograph, which tends to confirm it, we still can't confirm that device was there on the day?
Yeah, I think to be proper, I'd like to take that on notice.
All right, so we'll ask that one and whether it was used on the day. And just on that subject, you mentioned big crowds. We've had some smaller protests over the years. The Extinction Rebellion one in August of this year, I think, had 30 people and 8 arrests. And we're talking about thousands and thousands of people here. How would you overall describe the behaviour of the crowd?
Yeah, as I said before, overall the crowd were well behaved. And you probably saw there was children and families who were involved and pretty well behaved. A lot of poor attitudes though, but there's no offence for that. So the police did cop a fair bit of abuse, but again, it didn't cross into the criminal threshold.
Right, so mostly peaceful then.
Mostly peaceful.
Senator Antic, I'm sorry, we are going to have to...
I have one more question, Chair, and it's a very quick one.
Make a very quick one.
Very quick one. My last question is, there were some reports on the day of some interference with the bandwidth, citizen journalists talking about losing footage dropping out. Is that anything you're aware of? Is that anything the AFP was involved with? And do you know anything about that?
No, the only thing I'd heard was that they'd moved to another campsite where there was no internet, and then they moved on, but not that.